So when I was 10 years old, I got my first PS4. Right? I got it on my birthday when I turned 10, and I started playing basically every single day with my friends, right? And we would hop on these voice chat calls like we were, like when whilst we were playing the game. It was a multiplayer game, Overwatch. Um, and yeah, we just used to hop on these calls, shout and laugh and crack jokes, and it was a good time. I'm not gonna tell you anything else. It was a good time. Um, but what I realized, or at least realize now, is that video games and addictions like these, they're a lot more addictive when there's social connection involved, right? So, a lot of people have gamer friends, perhaps yourself. You hop on Discord and play some fucking game. I don't know what game motherfuckers play these days, but perhaps you have had that kind of experience in the past, at least. And like whatever you're doing is obvious like is gonna be a lot more addictive and pulling when your social connection, like your tribe mentality, is connected with it, right? Um, because it's like humans are biologically designed to seek community and belonging, right? Obviously. And the same happened with me when I was like 13, 14, and I used Snapchat, right? I don't use Snapchat anymore because I'm not a pedophile or anything like that. But basically, motherfuckers that use Snapchat, they and specifically send these fucking pictures, like have these gay ass little streaks with each other, like I had for fucking 2 years with people. You know, I would take a picture of my fucking face and send it to 20 people at once, just to like maintain some sort of like some fucking pixels, And there was always a resistance for me to delete Snapchat because it was where I had my group chats with the guys in my school and stuff. I'd switched schools, changed schools by this point, and I had a kind of new friend circle. Um, you know, and it was like I'm not even sure when I'm looking back at it in retrospect why there was so much resistance to it, to be honest, because it was just a fucking retarded app. Like why was I hooked so long onto this fucking habit of getting my phone, opening up Snapchat, sending a fucking picture of my face to people, you know and engaging in all these little weird, like some guy has shared some meme in some group chat, and me sharing another fucking picture or some shit, writing some shit in the group chat. It's all like, when I look back at it in retrospect now, it was obviously very idiotic, but I think the main thing that kept me hooked for so long onto video games and social media apps, particularly when there's a lot of interaction, like Snapchat, for example, was that there was social connection, right? And it's very if you're weak-minded, then you're not going to be able to abstain from that kind of stuff, that environment, unless you have compensation in form of another friend group, which I didn't have at the time, really. Um, so yeah, like I want to provide you, if you can kind of relate to this, and you can think to yourself that, yeah, I do probably have some gamer friends, or I do have social media where I'm like trying to connect, or like interact with people that aren't actually good for me in my life, you know which, like, I'm not gonna try to convince you in this video that ditching the loser friends is the right choice. I'm not gonna try to convince you of that if you don't like, um, if you haven't realized yet that you shouldn't be spending time with people that don't elevate you, that don't share your values or your interests or your mission or your purpose. Then, like, I'm not the guy to try to convince you that this channel is more for people who already have the desire to become the best versions of themselves, right? So I'm hoping by now that you are one of those guys. So I want to provide you with two tactics and methods that I've used to distance myself from these kinds of people, in not just when it comes to like gamer friends specifically, but just people that have been destructive for my life in general, which can obviously be applied to things like gamer friends and Snapchat messaging buddies or whatever the fuck, right? So the first method is the big balls one. Like, right, you're not going to be able to do this unless you have bigger balls, basically. And it is to do the upfront way. Like, and it's exactly what it seems like, or what it sounds like, rather. You're going to go up to the person and perhaps you're gonna message them and like organize some sort of meeting. You're gonna go up to them and tell them, hey, I'm I'm on this new path in my life. I've tried to get you guys on it, but it doesn't seem like you really want to. And I just wanted to, like, I owe you the respect to tell you that I want to terminate this friendship, or not. Perhaps terminate is the wrong, term or some shit. But I owe you the respect to tell you up front that I want to distance myself from this relationship, right? You do that, and um, like it's sort of I haven't really done it. I kind of half have done it, which I'm gonna get in a second. But um, it might, like, if you do this, I do have a lot of respect for you, because it does absolutely require you to get through a really cringing, sort of uncomfortable situation socially. So it might sound kind of wholesome or something, but I haven't really done it myself, so I can't really tell you. But like, is not it is kind of an uncomfortable thing to do, but if you do it, then you probably have fucking massive balls, but the thing is, I have kind of half done that in a way. It was last um, what was it? Yeah, it was last year, early 2024. I had this group chat with with a, not a fucking gay ass group chat on Snapchat, but like a real one on WhatsApp with some real guys. We were 7 guys, and it was like me, my big brother, our friend, and a couple other guys that had gone to my school, that I had basically found kind of, like, I'd seen potential in them when it comes to the grind and stuff, and masculinity and discipline. They weren't full-fledged yet, but that was basically why we took them into the clan, and we tried to help them improve. But we realized at some point that they were not taking action on the stuff that we recommended. They were not as serious as us on self-improvement, on this discipline journey, the journey of becoming the best version of yourself. They weren't. Um, we had we'd met up with them a bunch of times and just spoke and ranted and masterminded and talked about ideas, but they didn't seem very serious. They didn't implement really any of the ideas, to be honest. So I was the admin of the group, and one day I went into the group channel on WhatsApp and removed 2 guys from it, and then another guy as well after a little while. And yeah, one of the guys, he messaged me. He was a bit upset. He was like, why are you doing this? Blah blah blah. And I just told him that you're not meeting the standards of the clan at the moment. But if you want to, like, if you do in the future, then we're obviously open to, you know, you're re-entering, rejoining the clan. But that hasn't happened since, though. So I basically did that, which is kind of, it's sort of a big ball move, but perhaps not in the full, like, the best way. Perhaps I should have messaged them and actually told them on one of these meetings that we had. Really, it wasn't really a meeting, in like the formal sense, or perhaps it was. We met up at a certain time at a certain place and just talked, basically, at a library. And perhaps I should have told them, on the actual meeting, that you're gonna be, like, you're not gonna be allowed to stay in the clan, you know. Perhaps I should have done that. Yeah, man. But at least that's something that you can consider, right? You can either do the absolute big balls move and tell them in real person to their face, or you can do it digitally. It doesn't really matter in the end, because you're gonna get rid of them either way. But it's kind of nice to just do the big balls move at the end of the day. So if you do go for the, I do have respect for you. And the second method is to basically just, is what I call, what the fuck did I even call it? Doesn't really matter. It's just to basically distance yourself over time. You're gonna basically ghost them for a couple of months, and then they're gonna pick up on the signals, and they're gonna leave you alone, unless they're like really really close, like you guys have been friends for years, or like it's one of, like, your one of your siblings or some shit. Though if your brother's like this, then um, like, if you do have a brother and he fits the criteria of, like, being sort of a Jeffrey, like a little like a goblin, someone who isn't on self-improvement, doesn't do these masculine habits or anything, then I would try to fix them more than just a random guy that you met, you know. But in general, if if it's like a normal guy from your school, or perhaps like a bunch of guys like I had in my sort of, I'm not sure how the education system translates to other, like from Sweden, which is my country, to other countries. But basically, when I went from like 6th to 9th grade, I went in one school, and then from 10th to what is it now, 12th, which I'm going in. Um, I've basically high school. I've gone to another school, and from 5th grade and below, I was in another school as well. So if, let's say, there's a group of guys like I had in the 9th grade, 8th grade, I had a big group of guys in from my school, like 10, 20 guys that I would have on like Snapchat and like message, being group chats with, and like meet up sometimes like at some football field and like play some football, do some gay shit or some shit, you know. And I really just, you know, for me it was easy because throughout the summer break, I basically ghosted them throughout the summer break, and then when I went to a new school, I I didn't have a reason to meet them. Like I wasn't going to the same school. I'd quit playing football. Like I'd you know, stopped playing in the football team that I was playing in, which a lot of the guys was playing in as well. So that was kind of easy for me. It is the more comfortable and more sort of um, perhaps viable way if you're, no offense, but like a bit of a pussy. But you know, um, if you do go for this method, I don't completely condemn you. You know, it is also very effective, and you know, I don't totally judge you if you do, because I did it. You know, I didn't. My fucking 50-year-old ass didn't fucking gather all these 10 guys and be like, guys, I'm gonna distance myself from this relationship because you're all morons or some shit, you know, some Andrew Tate speech stuff, you know. That would have been lit though. That would have been dope. I'm not gonna lie, because those guys were not like they weren't tough at all, you know. They weren't gonna fucking you know, they weren't dangerous, you know. I could have done that, to be honest. But that's really it, man. Those are really the two methods as I see it. And if you do have these kinds of relationships that pull you down, that you know are pulling your ass down, perhaps you're like, if I like Hamza said this in one of his videos, and I'm gonna repeat it here. If I tell you the words degenerate loser, which people come into your mind, right? You can think about those people, and most likely you had some guy or some guys pop up into your mind, but you kind of pushed that thought away because you didn't want to be like, you wanted to be kind of nice to them, you know. And that's very dangerous because that's basically your instinct telling you what people to stay away from, really. And you should listen to that. So if you do have friends in your life, or people in general in your life, that are pulling you down, obviously fucking stop hanging out with them ASAP. And these are the two methods that have worked for me, you know. So that's about it, man. If you want more help with like breaking digital addiction, stop being a fucking addicted to your phone, you want to reduce your screen time, you want to stop scrolling, you want to stop playing video games, binge watching and stuff, you can check the link in the description. That's about it, man. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one, bro. See you.